Okay.
Welcome to our channel, The Breeze. We are so glad to have you watching today. With all the news lately with Charlie Kirk and everything that's happening over in North America, we just thought we'd give our little viewpoint and concerning some of these things. Like, what stood out to me, maybe this is a bit of a different take, I guess. What stood out to me is, like, I was telling Mahal about in the New Testament, Stephen, and he was considered the first martyr of the church. And we just got a thing to read there if you want to read it. We'll just read about Stephen first, the martyr of the church.
Stephen was a deacon in an early Christian church, known for his wisdom and power to perform signs, who was falsely accused of blasphemy by synagogues. At his trial, he delivered a powerful speech recounting the history of God's people, emphasizing their repeated rejection of God's messengers and accusing the religious leaders of doing the same. As Stephen was being stoned to death for this testimony, he saw heaven open and Jesus standing at God's right hand, and he prayed for his spirit to be received and for the God to forgive his murderers. His martyrdom, recounted in Acts 6-7, marked in a turning point as it led to the spread of the gospel through persecution and conversion of Saul,
So right there,
who later became Paul.
yeah. So Paul was there at the feet of Stephen, and he wasn't Paul at the time. He was like going around persecuting the church.
Yeah.
But you can see right there, it even said it became a turning point. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. It says that, like, because Charlie Kirk's ministry was called Turning Point USA. And it's a very similar thing that happens, kind of like a little parallel there. Like Stephen was just all pro-gospel and he was being persecuted. And Charlie Kirk's whole thing was that he was kind of debating the cause of Christ, which I guess he got a lot of persecution, and this was the ultimate persecution, and that someone killed him, right? But it's very similar. He's just proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ, and people didn't like it, and they ended up killing Charlie just like they killed Stephen. Like, it seemed like a really interesting parallel what was happening. I just thought that was quite interesting when we were talking about it the other day.
Well, it's just, I can only share about, just like Jesus, not all people love Jesus. Not all people also try their best to accept Jesus. Well, that's it. You can please everybody.
Yeah, I mean, life, I mean, everything really, Jesus is at the core of everything, whether you want to believe or receive. Jesus is at the core. I mean, just look at the power of Jesus. I mean, if Jesus wasn't so powerful, why are everybody, even today, why are they so concerned and arguing about Jesus if he wasn't so powerful? You know what I mean? It's like, you've got some people in certain countries and lands that they'll throw a person out of their family if they just say they're following Christ, right? Like, why? Because Jesus is powerful. Jesus is the Son of God. That's why. Because he is powerful.
Bless those who believe, even if they don't see him.
Yeah, that's right. Blessed are those who still have faith in God and they haven't seen in the flesh. Like, that's another good point there. Because you got to have faith. Right? And that's a thing that some people can't quite grasp. I think maybe is the faith part. What do you think?
Yeah.
Because faith is simple belief. I mean, you think of a child when they're very small, and you tell your child something, they'll just believe you, right?
Yeah.
If you're a good parent, they'll just believe you. And it's like that with God. Like, God is their Father.
Of course, you know what? Sometimes, especially in this generation, that everything is easy to access. The problem is you mold your family, you raise your children to be a good citizen, but when they go out to to explore, everything's changed because the environment is really different. Especially if you you hang out with,
The wrong crowd.
yes, with a
Yeah.
crook mind.
And
Yeah.
that was again going back to our topic with Charlie
Mhm.
Kirk. That was one thing he was always talking about. Like the universities, they have a tendency, at least back home. I don't know about here, but back home they have a tendency to lean liberal and liberal thoughts, which are kind of anti-God, right? They're against
Yeah.
God, and they kind of diminish
Yeah,
the power
we
of God.
even talk about that. That here we don't have like that, but we have anti-government.
Let's
That's
not
the
get into
only.
that.
That's the only difference. Yes. Yeah, because we're discussing about Charlie Kirk, that he's going to some universities to have a debate with about his, what is that?
Faith,
Yes,
really.
faith, and
Yeah.
with political, issues, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, he included
Yeah.
political
Yes.
issues based on his faith. Right,
Yes,
in
based on
God.
his faith. Yes, and we don't have like that. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't experience someone who go to the university and preach the word of God at the same time campaigning. Yeah.
Yeah, but you kind of have an atmosphere of the mind of Christ here, like in that sense, like it's focused on God in the overall picture, right?
Mm.
Like with the schools and stuff, isn't that right? Like
No, it's
you
a
have more
different
of an awareness of God, and you
Yeah,
have more
it's
of
a different. You know,
heart toward God.
you know why it's different here in the Philippines, because when I was in elementary, we have students teacher who preach the word of God.
student teacher.
Yes.
What they would talk about
Jesus.
in
Just-
school.
Yeah, just like me. I teach kids when I was in high school.
In high school,
Yes.
as part of your curriculum.
Yes,
Class.
that's
Wow.
part of
See,
before we
differences.
graduated. That's the thing. It's really different.
And that's public school, right?
Yes,
Not a
public
private.
school. Yes,
Public.
and also, also our lawmakers trying to put or trying to put some curriculum there to teach about Bible.
Okay, so
Yeah.
even your lawmakers
Yes.
put curriculum to teach about God.
Yeah, trying to,
That's
because
impressive.
in the private schools there is like especially Christian school or Catholic school, they have that one subject about Jesus Christ.
Did you say that's in public school too?
No, private, because
Okay, well, I'm talking about public
yeah,
too.
my son, I sent him into from elementary, like a grade 3. He started grade 3 in Catholic school up to high school, and then they have this subject, Christian living. It's all about, they talk about Jesus, they talk
Yeah.
about Bible, they talk about good things. Yeah, how to become a Christian, or how to live like a Christian, a followers of Jesus, because not all Christians are followers of Jesus. Yeah.
Well, if true Christian, if you're a true
Yeah.
Christian, you are. that's what the word means, right?
Yes.
Christ follower.
Yes.
But I want to go back to like public school, because you said you taught in public school, like,
Yeah.
taught some of the kids.
Yeah.
So does that still happen? Did that stop?
Yes. Never stop.
Also, even in public school.
Yes, even public school. We have a Catholic church send catechists to teach at least maybe 25 minutes about Bible, about Jesus.
So even now in the public schools, they teach about God.
Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes.
So I guess we'll kind of wrap up. I just want to make a video just mentioning Charlie Kirk, and then like the parallel that I noticed with Stephen. And the interesting thing, it's just a little bit tidbit of interest, but was those words turning, it was a turning point, because the church really started to spread, like the gospel started to spread a lot after Stephen's martyrdom, after he died, he was killed, right? And in that word where we read the turning, it was a turning point, right? And then Charlie Kirk's, his whole organization was called Turning Point USA, and he did a similar thing. So I just thought that was an interesting parallel. Anyway, you can leave in the comments what you think about it, and tell us what you think about the whole situation.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I can say, that the huge difference between states in America and Philippines, because as a Filipino, we have that from
God
elementary, yes, elementary up to high school. We have that Christian living subject curriculum.
Yeah. I do notice a large God focus over here in the Philippines, which is really good.
Yes.
So,
And then when I experienced it during my college days, we have that group, like a choir group, and also like some people do Bible study. Yeah, even if like there's a lot of denomination in school. Yeah, doing that.
yeah. So, anyway, if you have some thoughts on anything we've talked about today, put it in the comments. We'd appreciate it. We do have a website called Filipina Moments. That's
Yes.
filipinamoments.com. If you want to check out our other stuff.
God bless everyone.
God bless you.